Greetings, Nimrods. A little follow-up video on the MEC 650 that I had bought on Craigslist and we had done a previous video on. So I've done about 2 cases of shells with it now. It's working pretty good. One thing here, always make sure that the charge bar is over to the left when you set this up, or else you're going to have a mess. One other thing I wanted to show you with this is when you do add your primers to the tray, one thing I've learned is don't ever top off the primers. In other words, if there's a third of the primers are still in the tray and you try to add another 100, it kind of boogers it up a little bit because they tend to stand on top of each other's ledge on the bottom of the primer. It doesn't look like there's anything wrong, but they're offset on they get offset and stepped up on their little rim, and they get pinched between the plastic and the tray, and they don't really feed properly. So you're going to see a little bit of that in this video when I'm running these down. So in this part of the video, the camera person is on the left of me, and that does make it a little hard for me to operate the press smoothly. Here you can see it's not dropping the primer. So the great thing about this is that you can see it when it doesn't drop the primer, and you can remedy the situation. Some other reloaders I have known, you don't get to ever see it come down the tube, and you may miss it. This one, it's pretty hard to miss when you don't drop a primer. So that's a great thing about this one. And again, I didn't really have too much trouble with this, except when I tried to top off the tray. That's what's going on here. The other thing that makes this a little bit hard to get rhythm with the camera person onto my left is that I usually grab the shells from the left, and I'm trying not to do that here. I put them over on the right just to keep my arm out of the picture. But it doesn't make for very smooth reloading. So you'll see when we switch the camera to the other side that it goes a lot smoother. And it's pretty critical when you're turning the little cassette around that's hold to the shells that you have a smooth motion. Otherwise the primer tends to catch up and not drop into place. So you'll see when we switch the camera to the other side, I'm able to move my arms a little easier, and it's just easy to keep that rhythm going. Most of these machines do sort of require you to find some rhythm with the machine. It's a little Zen type thing. But, it's part of the pleasures of reloading, getting in the groove and turning out some shells. And I have been able to make this this reloader. Well, I'm quite happy with it. It works well. Despite that one little problem with the primers there, it's usually I don't. Once I realized that's what was happening, I haven't had any problem since. And occasionally it'll miss one here or there, but again, you can see it. That clear cover really helps to watch the primers. So in the other video, we talked about all the components I got with this press at a reasonable price. Trying to get rid of that red dot powder. I did a couple shells and tried them out, and they worked fine. And then I did a box and tried them out, and they worked fine. So I've had no problems with that powder, and I'm just going to use it up. And it's not the kind of powder I'd normally use. It does the loads do kick a little more than some of the things that target loads I usually make. So I don't plan on ever buying any red dot, but I have quite a bit of it. That came with this press, and I'm just using it up. And, along with the wads that came with it. So I don't normally make 1 ounce loads in 12 gauge. I usually make 7/8 because I'm cheap. But here I'm making 1 ounce loads. And it's going quite well. So I would definitely say if you get a chance to grab one of these MEC 650s cheap, they're a nice little reloader. I always resize my hulls in a separate action anyway, so that's the one caveat with these things, is that they don't resize the hull of the normal reloading process. So not an issue for me again, because I just generally always deprime and resize my hulls in a separate operation, and I would still do it on the other press I have set up because it's easy enough to do that way. So once I use up all the components that came with this reloader, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with it. Maybe I'll sell it. Maybe I'll keep it. I have another progressive reloader that works fine, so I kind of think I'm probably not going to hold on to it, only because I just don't need it. I have a slightly better reloader, but I do like this. I might try to convince Bob Alamo he needs a progressive reloader and maybe work a trade or something. But yeah, we'll see what happens. So here's my little hole in the reloading bench. And if you notice, that's where I've been dropping these hulls when they come off the press. Made that quite a while ago when I did have presses set up on this part of the bench, and I go into that drawer. Easy peasy. So if you made it this far, again, please like the video if you like the video, and share the video, because the Yankee Nimrod does not participate in any social media beyond YouTube, and I rely on the younger Nimrods out there to share this on your face page or your Instagram or your Snapchat accounts. I appreciate it anytime you share this and broaden the scope of this channel, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed and you like reloading. This might be a good channel for you. Happy hunting, Nimrods.